Hello everyone. Today we'll be taking a look at the bizarre, disjointed, and surprisingly long history of the toy archetype, used by a number of Yu-Gi-Oh anime and manga characters, including Jean-Louis Bonaparte from GX.
You are a toy!
Now before we start talking about specific characters, I need to cover the most important card to the toy archetype, Toy Box. Toy Box is a continuous spell originating from the manga in 2006, but I have more to say about that when we get to it. In the 2023 TCG release, Toy Box allows the controller to, when their opponent declares an attack, send a face-down card they control to the graveyard in order to destroy the attacking monster. Furthermore, on a soft once per turn, the controller of Toy Box can choose between two effects. First, they can select two qualifying toy monsters from the hand, deck, face-up monster zone, or graveyard, in other words, anywhere but banishment, and set them face down in the spell and trap card zone as spell cards. Keep this in mind because we'll see it pop up again later. Second, they can destroy up to two of their own spells and traps, which we'll also see again later. Now that we have that important context out of the way, let's get into our toy card users from the anime and manga that form this bizarre archetype. Quick addendum before I continue. I don't cover Toy Robot Box, a card used by Alistair in the anime, since that card is a token generator that creates robot tokens. So even if the archetype actually worked correctly, which as we're going to learn, it does not, Toy Robot Box still wouldn't have any synergy with the rest of the toy cards. The first user of toy cards was actually Yugi Moto from his appearance in Yu-Gi-Oh! R. This version of Yugi used 4 toy cards in his deck. The first of these is Toy Magician, a level 4 light spellcaster effect monster with 1600 attack and 1500 defense. Toy Magician can set itself as a spell card from the hand, and can then special summon itself from the graveyard during the end phase if destroyed by an opponent's card effect while set as a spell card. Unfortunately, this means that neither of Toy Box effects work to fulfill this condition. In addition, if flip summoned, it destroys spell and trap cards on the field up to the number of Toy Magician monsters on the field. Kind of odd how radically different the two effects are, but I suppose it's something we can build on. The next card is Toy Tank, a level 4 light machine effect monster with 1000 attack and 2100 defense. This monster can also set itself as a spell, and can immediately special summon itself from the graveyard if sent there while set as a spell card by any means. This means that, unlike Toy Magician, Toy Tank can special summon itself after being used as cost to activate Toy Box's battle effect, or if it is destroyed by Toy Box's second effect. A very welcome upgrade, I think. Its second effect allows it to be tributed to either special summon a level 6 or lower monster, exempting itself from the hand, or from the graveyard if the owner also controls Toy Box. Again, fine, we're starting to get a little bit built up here now. Next, we have what I'm going to call Orange Toy Soldier. Bear with me on this one, I'll get to the reason for that in a bit. Orange Toy Soldier is a level 4 light warrior effect monster with 1500 attack and 1000 defense, and has the same first two effects as Toy Tank, to set itself as a spell card, and to special summon itself if sent to the graveyard as a spell card by any means, including by Toy Box. In addition, when normal or special summoned, Orange Toy Soldier can add a Toy Box from the deck to the hand, or if you already have one on the field, one level 4 light monster instead. A good starter for the toy archetype for sure, and one that works well considering how important Toy Box is to these cards. So far, we actually have a decently coherent set of cards here. Speaking of which, we will now get to the manga version of Toy Box, Yugi's final toy card in Yu-Gi-Oh! R. This version of Toy Box is completely different from the one we eventually ended up getting in the TCG. In the manga, Toy Box has a continuous effect that allows for up to 2 toy monsters to be stored in it from the hand or field, and Toy Box is sent to the graveyard if it ends up being empty. This kind of blows my mind, so let's break down the technical way that this works to make sense of it. Basically, when Toy Box is activated, it creates a Toy Box token, which cannot be attacked and is immune from spell effects. Then, up to 2 toy monsters are banished face down, which considers them to be inside the toy box. Once per turn, during either player's turn, one of these monsters can be special summoned back to the field, and the toy box token is destroyed when none of these monsters remain banished face down, or none of the monsters originally banished face down by toy box. Obviously, this would be a ruling nightmare nowadays because of how face down banishment works, but it's a manga card from 2006. What can you do? The reason Yugi used this nonsense in the manga is because of a field spell card that was active at the time, Cosmic Space, which basically worked like Venom Swamp. In this case, removing counters each turn before destroying all monsters with no counters remaining. Cards inside the toy box, or banished face down, were immune from having their counters reduced, and Toy Box was immune from Cosmic Space entirely, since it was a field spell. So Yugi basically sidestepped the situation to win his duel against Depre. What a fun time. But it's worth noting that there's actually a third version of Toy Box from the Zexal manga, but it is renamed in the TCG as Box of Friends. However, I like this card, so I'll cover it anyway.
Oh, that's cute. Now that I like.
What do you think about this, you old bag?
Oh, no.
Box of Friends is a level 1 light machine effect monster with 0 attack and defense, and can summon 2 normal monsters with 0 attack and defense with different names from the deck when destroyed. But they can't be used as synchro material and are destroyed during the end phase of that player's next turn. Anyway, back to proper toy cards. Our next toy user is Jean-Louis Bonaparte from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. In typical GX fashion, Jean-Louis uses a number of cards featuring his toy monsters that aren't actually related to the archetype, such as Fife and Drum Corps, Forced March, and Unequal Treaty. However, he does have 4 cards related directly to toys, so let's take a look at them. First, we have the Red Toy Soldier, not to be confused with the Orange Toy Soldier from earlier. The Red Toy Soldier is a level 3 Earth Machine effect monster with 800 attack and 300 defense, and can, during the controller's standby phase, special summon 1 Toy Soldier from the deck. This card, as with the remainder of Jean-Louis' cards, have never been released in the TCG, unlike the Orange Toy Soldier which has, which is probably fine to just keep Orange Toy Soldier as the proper Toy Soldier in name, because Red Toy Soldier is terrible.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, terrible.
Recruiting from the deck is a great effect, but having to wait that long to activate it makes it too clunky, particularly since it's so weak. Having to wait until your next standby phase after summoning it, which gives your opponent their entire turn to just get rid of it. Fortunately, you don't really need to have it stick around that long anyway, since with the spell card Crowning of the Emperor, also used by Jean-Louis, Red Toy Soldier can be tributed to special summon 1 Toy Emperor from the hand or deck. Toy Emperor, Jean-Louis' boss monster in GX, is a level 6 Earth Machine effect monster with 2300 attack and 800 defense. If Toy Emperor destroys a monster by battle, it can add any trap card from the deck to the hand. A pretty powerful effect locked behind a pretty clunky and unreliable condition. Finally, Jean-Louis used Toy Cannon, a trap card that targets one of the opponent's attack position monsters, changes it to defense position, and inflicts 400 damage to the opponent. Whatever, it was GX, a different time. As you may have noticed, Jean-Louis' toy cards have absolutely no synergy with Yugi's. No being able to set themselves as face-down spell cards, or reviving themselves as destroyed as spell cards, which also means that they're completely incompatible with Toy Box. But that's honestly okay for now, since they've never been released to the TCG. So, if we ever end up getting Red Toy Soldier and Toy Emperor, I'd really like to see them reworked to function with Toy Box and Yugi's toy cards better. But for now, they're just kinda hanging around, carrying Jean-Louis to a pretty middling 0-3-4 record in GX. Not the worst, but definitely not the best.
Boo! You stink!
The third toy user, by technicality, was actually Yuma from Zexal. Yuma used one toy card, that being Toy Knight, a level 4 Earth Machine effect monster with 200 attack and 1200 defense. This card cannot be special summoned from the deck, but can be special summoned from the hand if the opponent controls more cards than the holder of Toy Knight. When Toy Knight is normal or special summoned, it can special summon another Toy Knight from the hand. The anime version was more restrictive of its summon from hand effect, requiring the owner to control no monsters, but that's not really a big deal. Overall, this is fine, and serves the purpose Yuma used it for, which was to turbo out level 4 monsters to Xyz summon number 39 Utopia. But, again, no synergy with Toy Box. As an unrelated point, I think that Tin Archduke should have been a toy monster, if only because it kind of looks like it belongs with Red Toy Soldier and Toy Emperor. But obviously it's used by a totally different character, Bronx Stone, and the effect doesn't really synergize either. Well, as if Toy Knight did either. It's a shame, because toy cards really could have used an extra deck boss such as an Xyz card in Tin Archduke. Although, preferably something better than Tin Archduke, if we're being honest. So far, we have 3 different iterations of toy cards from 3 different generations of Yu-Gi-Oh! That really have nothing to do with each other. And don't expect this to stop either, because our last toy user just goes completely into left field. Sora Perse is the final toy user from Arc 5, and at this point, there's no hope for a cohesive toy archetype. The vast majority of Sora's cards are related to the Edge Imp, Fluffle, and Frightfur series of cards, but he does technically have 2 toy cards in his deck as well. The first of these cards is Toy Vendor, a continuous spell card. On a soft once per turn, this card allows the controller to discard a card, draw a card, and then special summon it after revealing if it is a level 4 or lower monster card, after which it is treated as a toy monster. If not, then the card drawn is discarded. You know what? That's actually pretty cool. Get cards on the field or set up the graveyard, and it helps to get active toy cards on the field. Even better, Sora's other toy card, the normal spell Toy Parade, supports these cards by allowing for one toy monster that's equipped with any equip cards to attack multiple times up to the number of equip cards attached to it per turn. Not a great effect, but it's the first coherent toy support that works with all the cards we've looked at so far, not just those qualifying to be used by Toy Box, which includes all of the ones used by Yugi, Jean-Louis, and Yuma. And look, there's our old friends, Red Toy Soldier and Toy Emperor making a return. You know what, I take back what I said before. I really like the pattern we have going. We might actually be moving in the right direction towards a cohesive toy archetype. With this kind of momentum, maybe we can really get some synergy going and even get an extra deck boss monster at some point. This is honestly great. Let's see how they adapted these cards to the TCG. Oh. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god. Red Toy Soldier, Toy Emperor, how could they do this to you? Oh my god! Well, as we've seen, there's unfortunately just nothing that can be done for toy cards at the moment. Toy Box only works with Toy Magician, Toy Tank, and Orange Toy Soldier. Jean-Louis and Yuma's cards have no synergy, there's no cohesive strategy, there's no real boss monster, and Sora's cards are dead to me. Maybe when they finally adapt Jean-Louis' cards to the TCG, they can change the effects to make them synergize more with Yugi's cards and Toy Box, since he does have a total of 8 cards that remain exclusive to the anime. Plenty to work with in the future when we get more GX nostalgia sets. But for now, that's all for today. This whole toy debacle has been bugging me for years, and I hope you enjoyed my 2 cents on it. Stay tuned for more in the future, including some fun stuff about Rush Duel I hope to get going soon. Peace and love.